My brother suddenly announced that he was going to marry a Thai girlfriend he met online during a live streaming game. He claimed she was even more beautiful than Scarlett Johansson, and was the daughter of a Thai billionaire. I talked him out of flying overseas to chase a fantasy, but to my shock, the girl soon posted pictures of an extravagant royal-style wedding, marrying someone else. My brother couldn't take the embarrassment. He slapped me across the ear, and I lost hearing in my left ear. While I was hospitalized for treatment, he cleaned out our family's savings, including the money meant for my surgery, and flew to Thailand to meet his destiny. Turns out, the girl wasn't a rich heiress at all. She was a club recruiter. Worse, the night he arrived, he ended up naked in bed when the place was raided by international police. Luckily, I helped get him out through some connections. He returned home in disgrace, lost his job, and my hearing never recovered. I was forced to borrow from loan apps just to get basic treatment. Meanwhile, his social media showed off luxury villas and seafood feasts, heavily filtered photos that weren't even his. I recognized the images from real estate ads in Sanya. And still, he didn't realize he was being scammed. I was lying on the couch rubbing my sore back and casually warned him, "Online relationships are risky. Don't get scammed." He snapped, ripped off his gaming headset, and shouted, "You're just jealous because no one wants you. I already bought the wedding ring." In the last timeline, he wouldn't stop bragging about his Thai princess. How she wasn't materialistic, just loved his honesty. Her family even promised them a villa. I heard it so many times I wanted to claw my ears off. I hid his passport, hoping to stop the madness. But he'd sit at home, obsessing. One moment ranting that we were ruining his life, the next rummaging through drawers for his ID. One day, while I was in the bathroom, he banged on the door and yelled, "Sis, look, she wants a fairy tale wedding with me." Through the door crack, I saw a ridiculously staged wedding photo on his phone, complete with Chinese double happiness symbols dangling from the chandelier. And he didn't even notice. I stepped out to confront him, but he leapt up like a startled cat and screamed, "It's all your fault. If you hadn't stopped me, I'd be a billionaire son-in-law by now." Then he smacked me so hard I hit the tiled wall. My left ear filled with a deafening whoosh like a hurricane. That was our wedding. She only married someone else because you ruined everything. He stormed out, leaving me dizzy and nauseated. My mom took me to the hospital crying. Just before my surgery, I got a flurry of banking notifications. My brother had transferred out over 1,000,000 yuan, the entire family savings we'd been putting together for years to buy a home. I told my mom to rush home, but it was too late. He'd taken the cash and flown off to Thailand. A nurse later said my heart rate hit 150. People thought I was going to die from the shock. We were supposed to sign the housing contract that afternoon. Now, all we had left barely covered hospital admission. I stopped working to recover. Meanwhile, his Instagram was full of photos from luxury resorts and buffet spreads, posted with angles far better than he'd ever managed before. I suspected she was the one posting them. Within days, he came crawling back like a drenched mutt. Turns out the so-called rich girl was a club recruiter who lured him into a human trafficking ring. They took his passport and money, tried to force him to work, and threw him into some shady party that got raided. That's how the police rescued him. My ear was permanently damaged. But my brother? After a few days of moping, he bounced back like nothing happened. "Boys need to fall to grow up," Mom said. Then she mortgaged our family's old house. To help him get a job? Me? I was rejected by 10 companies in a row because of my disability certificate. When I saw a truck barreling toward the crosswalk, I almost felt relieved. I lay on the couch, watching him game, scarfing down instant noodles, talking about the love of his life. "She really appreciates my talent," he said dreamily. "She likes how serious I get when I'm gaming. She says, after marriage, she'll work and I'll stay home." I smiled, the kindest smile I could muster. "She's really something," I said. "Tell me more." I made him a bowl of sauerkraut ramen, added a hot dog and said, "Want a video chat with her? You never know. Deepfake tech is wild these days." He choked on his noodles. When the call connected, I nearly burst out laughing. The girl wore a lace robe and a slimmed face filter so extreme the curtains looked warped. But what caught my eye was her Adam's apple, bobbing up and down as she spoke. "Honey, approximately. I just finished my oil spa wrap approximately." I gasped dramatically. "Whoa, since when do Thai girls have Adam's apples?" He slapped a sweaty hand over my mouth. She's mixed. You don't understand. I pulled up one of her yacht photos and zoomed in on the bottom left corner. Says, Sonia Wedding Photography. This her family business too? She's Chinese, Thai, American, Hong Kong, whatever. He insisted. She just misses China. He clicked open a video she'd sent, her in a hot tub. Then sent her a suggestive selfie in return. I swiped through her photos. This rosewood furniture set? It's from a 2019 showroom in Chaozhou. She's cultured, he said. Why else would she want a Chinese husband? I shrugged. Hey, you're going to Thailand anyway. I'll handle the house paperwork. Little did I know, Mom had secretly decided to put the house under his name, even though I was the one paying with my savings and Dad's accident compensation. But fine. This time, I wasn't going to stop him. I'll go get the deed signed, I said. You should head over for Thai New Year. Maybe they'll give you a red envelope big enough to buy 2 more houses. He hesitated. But Mom said to keep the house in my name and tell people it's under hers. Up to you, I said, brushing noodle crumbs off my lap. Eventually, I got him to open a loan app. Last life, he stole the money. This time, I had him sign a naked loan agreement. Half an hour later, I watched him withdraw stacks of cash from the ATM. When I become a billionaire son-in-law, I'll hook you up with one of her friends, he promised, skipping off through airport security. I touched the Bluetooth hearing aid in my left ear. In our last life, Mom sold the house and didn't even buy me this. This time, I turned around and bought an apartment under my name. To be continued. Chapter 2. My brother's trip to Thailand this time was way earlier than in our past life. He even wore designer clothes and carried gift bags. If the scammers didn't mistake him for a cash cow, they were seriously slacking. That night, he posted a smug selfie at the Bangkok airport. Of course, he blocked Mom and me from seeing it. But his gaming buddies were all over it in the comments. Yo, off to marry into royalty, huh? You better come back with that princess or we're revoking your bro card. Bring back some Thai balm and centipede pills. He was famous in the gaming group for constantly flexing. So I wasn't surprised when his feed exploded the next day with luxury yacht pics, designer bags, 5-star spas, pure bait for desperate basement dwellers. And like clockwork, the group chat boiled over. Every loser in there started fantasizing about getting rich and marrying a classy Asian goddess. Just for fun, I called him on video. Rejected. Then I got a weirdly polite reply. Hello, sister. I am at Palace Mall. Everything is lovely. Come join me. I'll pay. Yeah, not him. I replied, send me $100 first so I know it's really you. Then I'll come find you. A few minutes later, he really did send the $100. Okay, definitely not him. Then came the real ask. I don't have enough for a return ticket. Please send me $2,500. Yeah, no thanks. Instead, I ordered myself an $80 afternoon tea, left $20 for Mom, and decided to take things into my own hands. I DM'd the admin of his gaming group and told him to kick my brother out temporarily. Too many fools were falling for his nonsense. Then I tried searching the shady club website that, in our last life, was eventually busted by the cops. I didn't think it would still be up. It was. And, holy hell. There were hundreds of profiles. Southeast Asian exotics, European stallions, and Asian fresh meat. The site was busy as hell. I scrolled through page after page until I spotted him, my genius brother. Wearing thick Thai-style makeup, fake lashes so long they could fan fire, and a face so caked it looked like a cartoon. Honestly, with some touch-ups, he could totally pass as one of those Thai beauties. I gave his photo a like to boost his ranking. Gotta support family, right? He had barely stepped off the plane before complaining about the heat. Dressed in a blazer and button-up, dragging a suitcase, he was scooped up by a man holding a photo of his girlfriend. Wow, he thought. Rich folks really do things differently. The guy even helped carry his coat and suitcase. My brother, clueless and language barriered, just let him empty his pockets. No big deal, he thought. Once I see my girl, she'll get me a translator. Except no one spoke English. They just kept saying, hello, hello, and drove him around for hours. Eventually, he was dumped in a dingy little room at a shady hotel on some remote island. No sooner had the door shut than another man came in. Blonde, shirt half unbuttoned, Zero Thai spoken. Hello Yoon Lee do, he mumbled. My brother tried to mime that he needed to make a call. The guy smiled, nodded, and started taking his shirt off. Wait, what? Moments later, the room echoed with terrified screams and splashing water. Just like that, I gained a new sister. In the following days, I returned to work with a smile. During breaks, I checked the club's site for new photos of my brother. 3 days later, the site went offline. That's when I knew the police had moved in. This time, though, my brother didn't get rescued. No lucky timing, no intervention. All my mom got was a formal letter from the Chinese embassy. Your son has been detained in Bangkok on charges of participation in illegal group activity. Mom was in denial. He couldn't be doing anything like that. He just went to look for work. She cried nonstop, set a full dinner table with all of his favorite dishes, and kept calling his phone. No answer. Mom, I said, let's go check with the local consulate. If something happened, there will be a record. Not one dish on the table was anything I liked. It was all his favorites: smashed eggplant, boiled beef, fish stew. I put down my chopsticks and left. A few days later, I officially moved into my new apartment. It was small, just a mattress on the floor and some takeout, but it felt like freedom. Then I got the call. Ma'am, a police officer said in fluent Mandarin, you're listed as emergency contact. Your brother is eligible for visitation at 3 p.m. I wasn't taking any chances. I hired a Chinese-speaking bodyguard tour guide for 1,000 baht, about $200. When I finally saw him, I genuinely thought a Thai ladyboy cop had come out to meet me. He was wearing thick lashes, glittery eyeliner, neon green crop top converted from a bathrobe, and his nails were longer than my patience. Bruises peeked from under his sleeves. Need anything from the inside? I asked gently. He rolled his eyes, crossed his legs with flair, and said, bring me a good body lotion, will you? The water here's terrible. My skin's dying. He also asked for a skincare kit and some lip balm. Of course I bought him everything, plus a full set of popular ladyboy cosmetics, super clumping mascaras, pancake thick foundation, fake lashes with rhinestones and feathers. Compared to food or cash, these things would help him survive better inside. I finished my trip with some sightseeing and durian curry. On my final day, I checked out, packed up the bird's nest soup and supplements, and flew home. When I got back, I told Mom, he'll be extradited soon. You can go visit him then. It would still take 2 months, but she was thrilled. She cleaned the house from top to bottom and stocked the fridge with his favorite snacks. Then she went to see him. When she returned, she locked herself in her room and stared at his childhood photos for hours. She never expected that the son she adored, the son she raised like a prince, would become this. But life had to go on. Mom decided the only way to fix him was to find him a girlfriend and snap him out of it. So she marched around every matchmaking park, asking anyone if they had a daughter, even divorced, even older, so long as she could bear children and be responsible. The moment he was released, fake lashes still taped to his eyelids, Mom dragged him to a blind date. She made me come along to supervise. I sat next to him, watching him toss flirtatious glances at the girl, but it wasn't her he was checking out. It was her older brother. Tall, rugged, handsome. Mom thought she could match us both up in one sitting. She didn't expect my brother to fall for the brother. He ignored his date and kept praising the man's strong hands and adorable dimples. The guy was visibly uncomfortable. I, on the other hand, was having a blast. This restaurant was excellent. Great food and even better entertainment. Afterward, the woman reported my brother for inappropriate behavior. Mom was furious. She stormed into his room, where his gaming chair and snack pile had been replaced by cosmetics, miniskirts, crop tops, and strappy sandals. She snapped. She threw out everything, then locked him in and said, go back to being normal, play games, watch movies, just be a man again. But he wasn't going back. The online loans he took out during his last trip were now overdue. Debt collectors started harassing him, calling nonstop, even sending his photos to everyone in his contact list. When he tried logging into a game, people mocked him. Where's your Thai princess now? You ended up the princess yourself. After a couple of days of silence, Mom softened again. She brought him food and tried bargaining. If you wear men's clothes again, I'll buy you a new gaming rig. He took one look at the cold fried oysters and greasy noodles and lost it. He shoved her so hard she fell, plates shattering around her. Then he grabbed the spare key, locked her inside the room, and stole all the gold jewelry and cash from the house. I got a call from a neighbor. "There's banging from your apartment. We think something's wrong." I rushed back to find the place trashed and Mom sobbing on the floor. My brother was gone, again, headed back to Thailand. Chapter 3. A few days after landing in Thailand again, with no money, no luggage, and not a single plan, my brother began texting me like clockwork. "Sis, can you send me some money? I haven't eaten in 2 days." This was exactly what I'd been waiting for. I immediately reached out to the Thai bodyguard guide I'd hired last time, and paid him another 1,000 baht to hook my brother up with a job on a ladyboy cabaret yacht. At first my brother was hesitant. He pouted, played shy, and kept asking, "Do I really have to?" But hunger gnawed at him harder than shame. And the language barrier meant he couldn't even beg properly. Eventually, he gritted his teeth and went. Once on board, he realized the real way to earn tips wasn't just dancing, it was performing, sometimes with props. The audience didn't come to see subtle. At first, he resisted. But after watching the other performers earn tips with ease, while he went home broke night after night, he cracked. He put on the costume. He did the routine. And slowly, the praise started rolling in. "You're so pretty. Your waistline is better than a real girl's. You're my favorite tonight." Compliments turned into confidence. Confidence turned into ambition. He started comparing himself to the other girls, jealous of how much they made. He figured if I've come this far, might as well go all the way. So he made a deal with the yacht boss, 3 years of unpaid labor, in exchange for full surgery. The boss, impressed by his resolve, clapped him on the back. "As long as you work hard, good things will come." Time passed. 1 year, then 2. And then I decided it was time. Time to bring Mom to Thailand for a vacation. We stayed in Bangkok for a few days, then I casually suggested a cabaret dinner cruise. Mom wasn't thrilled at first. "I don't like those freak shows," she muttered. But the moment we boarded the bedazzled yacht, she was hooked. The lights, the makeup, the feather boas, Mom was fascinated. "These people really know how to put on a show," she whispered, nudging me, as if she had no idea her son was one of them. And then he appeared. There he was, my darling sibling, on stage, in a glittering sequined dress, false lashes fluttering like butterfly wings, heels higher than her GPA in high school. Mom gasped, clapped, laughed, and even pulled me up to take a photo with her favorite performer. She threw her arm around him, grinning from ear to ear, and slipped him a 20 baht tip. My brother froze the moment he recognized her. But years of experience kicked in. He smiled, bowed, and whispered, "Khop kun ka." I watched from the side, feeling a complicated mess of pity and satisfaction. Mom had no idea that the gorgeous ladyboy she just tipped was the son she still cried over every night. Chapter 4. The moment we got back to the hotel, Mom locked herself in her room. She didn't come out for hours. She sat there, flipping through photo albums, scrolling through old Facebook memories of her precious boy, whispering to herself, "He used to love toy cars. How did we end up here?" She hadn't connected the dots, yet, but I could see her sanity fraying at the edges. Eventually, she snapped into solution mode. If we just find him a nice girl, he'll go back to normal. That's all he needs, stability. A reason to act like a man again. So she began her mission. She scouted every church, park, and farmer's market. She chatted up every woman under 45, pitching her son like a timeshare. He's sweet, sensitive, loyal, and very open-minded. Didn't matter if they were divorced, older, or had 3 kids. If they had a uterus and could breathe, she was interested. As soon as he was released from Thai detention, with his hair extensions still in and glitter on his collar, she dragged him to a blind date. To keep things safe, she brought me along. I sat next to him, sipping my iced tea, trying not to laugh as he batted his lashes at the wrong person. Not the date. Her brother. The guy had shown up just to accompany his sister, a muscular ex-military type with a jaw that could slice bread. My brother ignored the actual woman completely. Instead, he flirted shamelessly. "Your hands are so strong. You work out?" That smile. Ugh, lethal. If I faint, will you catch me? The man looked like he wanted to melt into the floor. I, however, was living. The dinner was great and the entertainment was priceless. Unsurprisingly, the woman reported my brother's inappropriate conduct after the meal. Mom nearly had a breakdown. She stormed into his room and found exactly what she feared. His gaming station was now covered in makeup palettes, contour brushes, crop tops, and hot pink wedges. She snapped, tore down his wardrobe, dumped all the cosmetics and screamed, "No more of this nonsense. You're a man. Act like it. Go game or go watch a movie, anything but this." But he wasn't budging. Meanwhile, the payday loan apps he'd used before had come calling. They spammed his phone with threats, and worse, started sending his pictures to every contact in his phone. Even in online games he couldn't escape. People messaged him. "Didn't you go to Thailand to get married? Guess you are the bride now, huh?" He went quiet for a couple of days. Then Mom, thinking things had cooled down, brought him dinner again. "If you wear men's clothes, I'll buy you a new graphics card," she bargained. He stared at the plate, leftover oysters and a cold stir-fry, and exploded. He shoved her so hard she fell backwards, crashing to the floor with the food. Then he snatched her spare keys, locked her in the room, and ransacked the house, taking whatever jewelry and cash was left. "I got a call from a neighbor. There's weird banging from your place. You should check it out." When I got home, the place was trashed. Mom sat on the floor sobbing, covered in spilled soy sauce and glass shards. I called him. No answer. He was already on his way to Thailand. Again. Chapter 5. My brother landed in Thailand. Again. This time with no cash, no backup, and no clue. It wasn't long before he was back in my inbox, whining. "Sis, help me. I'm starving. Just a few bucks to get food?" Perfect. I immediately contacted the same Thai guide I'd hired before and handed him another 1,000 baht. This time, I asked him to line up a job for my brother on a ladyboy performance yacht. At first, he still acted shy and bashful, like some kind of tragic anime girl. But it turns out hunger punches harder than shame. And when he realized the only way to earn tips was to perform with enhancements, yeah, the kind that bounce when you move, he hesitated. But not for long. The others were raking in tips just by flashing a little thigh and blowing kisses. Meanwhile, he was broke, hungry, and ignored. So one night, he finally gave in. He danced. He bent. He glittered. And slowly, he started to like it. The compliments poured in. "You're the prettiest one. Where'd you get those legs? You dance like a goddess." With every flirty laugh and tossed wink, he gained confidence. Then ambition. Soon, just dancing wasn't enough. Other performers were making 10 times what he did. They had surgeries, followers, sponsors. He wanted in. So he signed a contract with the yacht owner. 3 years unpaid labor in exchange for gender-affirming surgery and full brand packaging. The boss was thrilled. "Work hard, sweetheart. I'll make you a star." And thus began his transformation. Months passed. Back home, I figured it was time to cheer Mom up. So I booked a trip to Thailand. Just the two of us. Spa, temples, shopping. And, of course, a night cruise. She hesitated when she saw the brochure. "Another cabaret? Are you trying to traumatize me?" But I convinced her, "Come on, Mom, live a little." We boarded the yacht, which was now even flashier than before. Feathers, sequins, stage fog. It was practically a Vegas show. Mom was mesmerized. These performers, they're so professional. And tall, look at those cheekbones. And then, he came out. My brother. Full glam. Wearing a Swarovski-studded gown, 6-inch heels, and a smile as dazzling as the disco ball above him. Mom clapped enthusiastically. "This one's my favorite." She even pulled him aside afterward for a selfie. Arm around his waist, she laughed. "You're prettier than my daughter." Then, because she's Mom, she slipped him a 20 baht tip. My brother's smile froze for just a split second. But he didn't say a word. He bowed sweetly and said in perfect Thai, "Thank you, miss." I stood behind her, watching him swallow whatever feelings he had left. She had no idea. Her son, whom she still prayed for every night, had just accepted a tip from her, as someone else entirely. Chapter 6. When we got home from Thailand, Mom wasn't the same. She didn't say a word on the flight. Didn't eat. Didn't cry. She just stared blankly out the window, gripping her purse like a lifeline. Back home, she shut herself in her room for days. No TV, no cooking, no nagging, nothing. Just the soft rustle of old photo albums being flipped, over and over again. But life doesn't stop. Eventually, she snapped out of it with a new mission. We have to find him a girlfriend. A real one. Someone who can fix him. She called every person she'd ever met. Scouted every park and supermarket like she was recruiting for a secret spy agency. Requirements? Female. Breathing. Preferably able to give birth. Didn't matter if they were divorced, 10 years older, or couldn't speak English. As long as they weren't a man, she was interested. The second my brother got out of detention again, yes, again, she dragged him, lashes and all, straight to a blind date at a local diner. But this time, she was smarter. She forced me to come too, just in case he tried anything weird. So, there we were. Me, sipping iced tea. My brother, in a suspiciously well-fitted hoodie. And the girl, nice enough, a little shy, 4 years older than him. But his eyes? They weren't on her. They were locked on her older brother, who'd tagged along. 6'3", gym-built, tattoos peeking from under his sleeves. My brother was practically drooling. He completely ignored the girl and launched into full flirt mode. Wow, your hands look so strong. Do you rock climb? Your smile's dangerous. If I faint, you'll catch me, right? The guy looked like he wanted to crawl under the table. I was fighting back laughter with every bite of my sandwich. Mom, meanwhile, was still clinging to hope. She's perfect for him, she whispered to me, watching her son flutter his lashes at the wrong sibling. After the disaster of a dinner, the woman filed a complaint. Mom came home furious. She stormed into his room, only to find his gaming chair surrounded by makeup kits, fake nails, crop tops, and a brand new pair of pink stilettos. She lost it. She tore down everything, makeup, wigs, heels, screaming, "No more of this freak show crap. You're a man. You're going to act like it." Then she locked him in and told him to sit there and think about what he'd become. But he wasn't done. Soon, the debt collectors from his previous loans caught up with him. They weren't just calling. They were texting everyone in his phone, sending pictures, spamming his socials. Even his old gaming group turned on him. Thought you were marrying a princess. Turns out you are the princess. Hey, where's your tiara, bro? The humiliation was unbearable. Mom, thinking things had settled, brought him food one evening. "If you just act normal," she whispered, "I'll buy you a new gaming setup." He stared at the cold leftovers, fried noodles and steamed clams, and something snapped. He shoved her hard. She fell, hit the floor, and dropped the food. Then he grabbed her spare keys, bolted from the house, and emptied what little cash and jewelry we had left. I only found out because a neighbor called. "There's been banging from your apartment all afternoon." When I got there, the place was trashed. Mom was sobbing on the floor. My brother? Already on his way to Thailand? Again. But this time, he wasn't going for love. He wasn't going for adventure. He was going back to stay. Chapter 7. After my brother landed in Thailand, for the third time, he was completely broke and totally alone. He messaged me 2 days later. "Sis, I really need help. I haven't eaten in 3 days." This was it. Exactly what I'd been waiting for. I contacted the Thai guide I'd used before and handed over another 1,000 baht. "Get him a job," I said, "on a ladyboy yacht show. The glitzier the better." The job offer came with a catch. No tips unless you wear the implants. And perform. At first he hesitated. He'd come a long way, sure, but not that far. But hunger? Hunger's persuasive. And so was the realization that the other girls made serious money while he sat in the corner applying lip gloss for free. He gave in. Night after night, he danced, sang, flirted, and adapted. Eventually, he got bolder. And then the big decision. He signed a contract. 3 years of unpaid performance in exchange for gender surgery and a full cosmetic overhaul. His boss? Overjoyed. "Keep it up, sweetie. You'll be the #1 girl in Southeast Asia." Back home, I was watching everything unfold online. His photos were getting glossier, his moves more refined, his makeup almost flawless. I figured, what better way to reward his progress than to bring Mom back for another trip? Only this time it was my turn to sit back and enjoy the show. We arrived during Thailand's New Year festival. The streets were filled with parades, music, and floating lanterns. Mom still didn't know. She thought we were on a vacation, until we boarded the same luxury yacht. The lights dimmed. Music started. Glitter exploded into the air. And there he was. Center stage. My brother. In full drag, body snatched by corsets, hair teased into curls, fake lashes long enough to sweep the floor. He wasn't performing anymore. He was thriving. Mom didn't recognize him at first. She clapped along, eyes shining with amusement. These performers really go all in, huh? Then she pulled me aside and whispered, "That one in the middle, she's so pretty. Her smile reminds me of someone." I said nothing. At the end of the show, Mom pulled her over for a photo, put an arm around her shoulder, laughed. "You're beautiful. You look like my son." He stiffened, but didn't say a word. She handed him a tip. 20 baht. I watched as he accepted it with a practiced smile, bowed gracefully and said, "Kop kun ka." Back at the hotel, I finally broke the news. "That was him, Mom." She stared at me like I'd spoken in tongues. "What do you mean, him?" "That was a lady. A real, beautiful lady." "No," I said, voice calm. "That was your son." She didn't scream, didn't faint. She just stared, then locked herself in the bathroom. For 2 days. When she came out, her eyes were bloodshot, but her mission was back. We need to get him married. To a woman. Fast. Chapter 8. Back home, Mom shifted into overdrive. She was convinced the solution was simple. He just needs a woman. A real one. A sweet, fertile American woman who can knock the nonsense out of him. So she started matchmaking again. This time, she didn't even care if the girl was older, twice divorced, or barely spoke English. If she had a pulse and ovaries, she was ideal wife material. She even convinced one to meet my brother. A quiet, soft-spoken woman 4 years his senior. Sweet, traditional, the whole package. But at the dinner, my brother didn't even glance at her. Instead, he locked eyes with the woman's older brother, a burly guy with a lumberjack beard and biker tattoos. And once again, he turned on the charm. "Wow, your arms. Do you chop wood? If I faint right now, would you carry me to safety?" The guy looked like he'd rather be waterboarded. Mom smiled nervously, trying to steer the conversation back to grandchildren and buying a house. But my brother just giggled and played with his straw like a drag show contestant on a first date. The dinner ended in disaster. The woman filed a complaint. Mom came home humiliated. She stormed into his room and found nothing but crop tops, high heels, a drawer full of foundation, and 3 wigs on mannequin heads. She lost it. Screamed. Threw everything in the trash. Locked him in. "You are a man. Start acting like it. Enough of this perverted circus show." But it was too late. He wasn't coming back. The debt collectors returned. This time, they weren't just calling, they were doxing him. Posting his photos online. Blasting him in gaming groups. "So, where's your Thai princess now?" "Wait, you're the princess?" Then, Mom tried a different tactic. She brought him food and whispered, "If you stop this, I'll buy you a new gaming setup. RTX 5090. He glared at the cold stir-fry and oyster shells. And snapped. He shoved her so hard she fell backward, crashing into the table. Then he grabbed a spare key, locked her in the room, and stole the last of our valuables. Cash, jewelry, anything with resale value. I got a call from the neighbor. "We've been hearing banging. Something's wrong." I rushed home. The apartment was wrecked. Mom sat crying on the floor, surrounded by spilled soy sauce and broken glass. My brother? Already on his way back to Thailand. This time, there were no rescue missions. No naive dreams. He was going back permanently. For good. He contacted me one last time, begging for just enough money for food. I didn't hesitate. I reached out to my old Thai contact and arranged him a job on a very important person ladyboy cruise, a full-time contract. And this time, he'd be doing everything. He resisted. A little, But starving hits different when you're broke and alone in Bangkok. Within a week, he was working the yacht circuit. Decked out in glitter, wearing falsies, grinding to the beat of tourist money. But that wasn't enough. He wanted more. He signed a 3-year unpaid contract for full-bottom surgery. "I want to be the most beautiful girl in Thailand," he said. And the owner smiled. "Then work for it, baby." 2 years later, I took Mom back to Thailand again, this time for her to relax. Of course, I made sure we boarded that yacht. The lights, the feathers, the glitter. And there, on center stage, in a Swarovski bodysuit and 6-inch heels, was my brother. Now my sister. Mom clapped, thrilled by the performance. "This one's my favorite." After the show, she grabbed him for a selfie. "You remind me of my son," she laughed, handing her 20 baht tip. He froze, but smiled. "Thank you, ma'am." Later that night, I finally told her. "That was him. That was your son." She stared at me, blinking. No, that was a lady. That was a beautiful woman." "No," I said. "That was your son. That's who he is now." She didn't scream. She didn't cry. She just shut herself in the bathroom. And didn't come out for 2 days. When she did, her hair was a mess, her eyes were hollow. But her determination was back. "We're going to get him married. To a woman. Fast." She never succeeded. He never came home. And I moved into a new apartment. Paid in full. Quiet neighborhood. Plenty of sun. Sometimes I check his Instagram. He has a following now. Over 200,000 fans. His tag? The real Princess Yuki. Bio. Born once as a son. Reborn now as me. Every time I see a post, I smile. Because, for the first time in his life, he actually looks happy. The end.